don't know if I was live or wasn't live or what. Copy website address. Okay, docs. Sorry, all person who's watching. While I'm sorting this out. Alright, well, I guess that just isn't going to work. So I apologize that maybe I didn't go live. Maybe it's supposed to manually have that go live on YouTube. I don't know yet. I'm still figuring this out. But it looks like Twitch is live. It's saying it's live. There we go. Okay. Oh, I'll get all this figured out eventually. There. That's two more we'll be able to do. Now, let's see if this has heated up sufficiently yet. There we go. Get the big old ball of solder out of there. Alright, so I'm pre-tinning, for anyone who doesn't know. Pre-tinning the leads, so this actually makes getting everything joined up and soldered together afterwards easier. You get a layer of solder on. Generally cleaner than how I'm doing it, but this isn't even consumer electronics, this is personal electronics, so it doesn't actually matter quite as much. Let's move that. There we are. Then we'll do the same here. Alright, step one, done. And then, for anyone who, once again, not in the know, the longer lead is your positive lead, and the shorter is your negative. Trim that down a little bit. Same thing with that. I'm gonna get a little solder on the iron though before I do this, just in case there's not enough in the pre-tinning stage. Plus it gives you an area to make contact and get as much heat transference as possible. And do that. And that. Now, before we attach wires to it, let's make sure it actually works. There we go. And we'll get some wire here. And potentially more than we need, just because I'm not exactly sure my internal layout yet. There we are. And this is going to be a one circuit ship. It's basically going to be on or off when I do the lighting, so I'm just going to use black and red. But I do use different colors for circuits depending on if there's multiples. In the case of the Enterprise refit, there are several lighting circuits. So I've had to do a number of color coding. Alright, same thing, we're going to pre-tin these. And same as before. Get some fresh solder on there. 1. And 2. And we have our first LED ready. Now, I'm going to give these a little bit of a bend. So I'm not sure how our internal layout's gonna go yet. And then further, I have a bit of an idea. Something like that. Now in this case, I'm actually going to use crazy glue to lock this LED in. And some kicker to get that to set off. Now, last week I'd mentioned I was going to go ahead and paint and light block things before we started. I'm actually not going to do that. I want to try something different with this. Instead of doing light blocking, then putting lights in, additional light blocking. I'm going to see if I can do it all in one shot. So we'll see. But let's do another lighting test. Son of a bitch. All right. 1 lead, 2 leads. Okay. So we have light, you see from the top, but how does it look from the bottom? Okay, look at that. That's exactly what we want. Is light shining down and casting shadows on the landing gear and whatnot. So I'll be doing that in the other two. But we're going to come back to that because we're going to use a number of different LEDs in this particular build. So I'll go ahead and disconnect those. We don't need them right now. And that, put you guys aside. Still have our helping hands. So on the bottom here, I have a number of spots marked out. How's that, Brian? My concern is that there's going to be a hum. Because I got things running in the background here. Turn that monitor down. And there's that. So, where were we? Okay. So we have a number of different lights. All these around the perimeter in various locations. They're all going to be the same size, and there's slightly larger ones on either side of the, well, in this case, the boarding ramp. And I think we're going to use, excuse me, we're going to use SMDs for those. Then I'm going to fill it with UV resin, and I'm going to make masks on my vinyl cutter, so that I don't have to worry about any of that. I can just get them done, put the resin in, sand it smooth, whatnot. And, excuse me, then mask it. So that's kind of where we're at. So we're going to move on to an SMD option and kind of decide on the size. So using 3 there, maybe we'll use 2s and 1s. I think that may be the way to go. So we're going to slide this guy back. And some of them are going to be white, some of them are going to be red. So that's the 1mm there. All right. There's that. And sorry, I'm just getting this one ready for the 1mm bit, and I might actually scale up from that. But we'll see. And I just want to coordinate this with my little map I got from Rose Model Company, who had found it online, by Mark Zozik. I'll actually post this on my Instagram. And this is a landing light. I would say for, well, it appeared a number of different ways, so I guess it doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 1, 2, 3. Okay. This we're going to update, because this one's gone. We have 1, 2 on the same plane. A third one, then a fourth one, And then a fifth one before here. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. And these will all be for white landing lights. These recessed ones are for red. And 1mm may end up being too small. And I think what we might do is go to 1.5 for that. And for that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of have an idea of what I want to do here. There we go. Okay. So we got our 4 holes drilled, which we can access from up here very easily. I don't know if you're still watching, Brian, but I turned up my gain. Is that any different? And let's take a look at some SMD options. So I got a number to choose from. Some of them had for a very long time. But I'm thinking from a size perspective, for these ones I might go with these little 0402s. Let's see if I can bring that up and get a sense of just how small these are. But I can lay them right down. I could use fiber optics, but I'm saving that for the computers on the inside. And I think what I'm going to do, just because I've got these, I'll use these much larger ones for the boarding ramp ones. And these are 1306s, I believe. So I've had these for a very long time. Got them from HDA Model Works. But yeah, let's start with these. So let's bring this back around. And I want to do a couple things. One, I want to do a test just to make sure that they're actually, excuse me, the correct weight. Because I do have warm weight and cool weight. Oh, good. This one broke. Perfect. Alright, let's grab you from wherever you are in here. These get a little tangled, so it's kind of difficult. And I would say I grabbed the one that was broken. Okay. That's alright. Out you go. These are little Can be a pain to work with, but their size can't be beat. So, we'll do a lighting test. Positive, negative. Come here, you. Okay, yep. There we go. We got the cool white. Cool white. Cool whip. Some might get that joke. And now, given the age, it's likely that this would have been a much smaller incandescent bulb in the past, so it should be a warm white, but we're going to go with what we have. Because the truth is, I've had these forever, and it would be nice to get them used and moved out of my stash. Alright. So we have this. And this. We're not going to use crazy glue with this one. I'm actually going to use hot glue. Once I get it placed. I'm actually going to need a new tube. There you go. Here we are. Just set that there for now. And getting it lined up can be difficult, but not impossible. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Move you out. Get you guys again. And test it a second time, make sure it works. And also, make sure we got the light transference aiming down, not in a direction we don't want. Come on. There we go, so we know it's working. And then we'll do this, and look at that. We got light, so we can do that for the rest of them. And yeah, so we'll be using multiple different types of lighting on this Falcon build. Excuse me. I do like the pre-wired, pre-resisted one. Given the lengths of wire, though, I mean, it's good to have more than less, but sometimes when you're in a tight space, it can be a bit of a pain to work with, but one problem at a time. Luckily, we got a fair bit of usable space in here, which makes things a lot easier. But in the last Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, bundling up all the wires was a bit of a hassle. Not impossible, just would have been nice if it was easier. But this isn't always the easiest of hobby either, so no, you do the best you can. And I should be thankful considering when I started building models, years ago, there was nothing like this available. Like, at all. So it's kind of a blessing to have the options we have now. Hello, Go For It Painting. Yeah, Brian, the part of the problem is I've got a large space, but it's not ideal for streaming, so I have to, getting the mic placed. One, it's the gain. Getting the gain high enough, but getting the mic placed where it can pick me up as much as possible as I have to move around or lean in to do work. All right, we get that guy in there. Hope I have enough of these. Listen, I've had these for a very long time. Very, very long time. So it's nice to be able to finally use them. But I think I've only got 10 more. And there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're going to be 5 short of this one, but I think we're going to be okay because I've got a number of other ones in the same scale. Oh, thanks for a Go For It painting. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully it all comes together. You know, sometimes these things don't always work out the way you want, but the live stream is a bit more freeform, where I can just build and talk and engage with anyone who drops in and may want to chat. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. But as I mentioned in the first build, I'm actually doing this because my friends Matt's Model Shop and Jerry, HD Model Works, have both built this. And bear with me. Don't want to pull these apart. Oh, here we go. There's another one. Excuse me. Matt and Jerry did this. I don't think Jerry's is done, because he's so busy running HD Model Works that he doesn't always get an opportunity to build. Excuse me. But if you check out his channel, the what he has done is there, and it's fantastic. Same with Matt's. They're both excellent builders, even though my dear friend Matt sometimes thinks he's not as good as he is. And I say to him, Matt, you're very good at this, and you should be proud of what you've done. I mean, look at, he's built a number of refits. I can barely get one done. I've been working on this 6-month commission for over 2 years now, so what does that tell you about my ability? Hello, Chris. How's it going? And we'll pull this one apart. See if we can get this guy off of here. Maybe, perhaps. Which one are you? There we are. It's you. Okay. So, Chris, I don't know if you've seen anything yet, but I'm basically doing landing and warning lighting on the Cutaway Falcon, which is the New Hope Falcon with the tricycle landing gear. And my plan, instead of light blocking and adding this and all this whatnot, I'm going to do all my lighting and then light block the inside. Let's see if I can get things all covered up all at once. And you might think I'm crazy, but for all these landing lights, I'm going to make a mask. I'm going to fill them with UV resin and then add a mask. for the painting phase. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see how we did here. Let's see if all of them work. Like I said, these have been in the stash for a while now. All right, come here, you. All right. Positive. But I don't know. I am positive this will work. Yeah. Who likes dad jokes? Okay. Get these bad boys together. I'm going to find out that they're all different colors. Actually, one's a little bit off. Looks like it might be a warm white. I'm going to have to pull that out. Not the end of the world. But that came off a cool white sheet, so that's interesting. Yeah, Brian and I had a conversation about that, but I think this is about the best it's going to get. Because that's maxed out, and I'm worried it's picking up the sound of the fridge constantly cycling more than my voice. Okay. There we are. We'll give that a little flip. And there. We have landing lights. I'm happy with that. I guess we can keep going. But yeah, that's kind of the goal of this this stream, is to just... I don't know if I have a volume control here in OBS. If it'll let me boost it all. Like right now, when I'm looking at the VU meter, it is, you know, it's maxing. Not quite red, but definitely yellow. I don't know if I can boost it anymore. Unless I bring it right to my mouth. But once again, the problem is I need to move a lot to do this, right? Like kind of ducking in and out. So, whatever, we'll manage as best we can. Because, let me put my headphones back on here. I don't like listening to myself talk while I'm talking, especially with the delay. Yeah. Now, that's a fairly long delay. Anyway, whatever, it is what it is, I guess. Okay. So, yes, we've decided to use 1.5 millimeter holes for all these lights. I'm going to use 1 millimeter for the reds and 2 millimeter for these 4 that are on the other side. Okay, so let me check my map here and see how we're looking. So this should be, excuse me, you got this one, give me a second, I need to reorient this so I'm looking at the same, on the same plane. You got 1, 2, not that one. Like styrene, I can just erase that marker with my pencil. Okay. And then these 2 are slightly recessed relative to those ones. Now, once again, this is from lighting map created by Mark Zozik. I couldn't tell you when it was made or whatnot. Okay, we got that, and yeah, right here. Okay. But for this one, it's what we're going with. So we got the Dremel out. Again, once again, Dremel 3000, pistol grip, and the chuck instead of the collet. There we go. And yes, we can use these four for our new holes over on this side. And where are we at? It's a little difficult. I'll get it figured out, but trying to fill that empty space, I may need to think between steps. Like, okay, yeah, I need to do this, I need to do this. What's next? And kind of stall out thinking of those things. Because I wonder, you can only say, I feel like you can only say, okay, I'm putting the SMD in the hole, so many times before it gets repetitive. Now I know that people duck in and out and don't, stay for as long as they stay. And the goal is to make this as interesting as possible. While making it a bit more free-form relative to my other long-form content, which is very structured. So, I guess in that sense, it's like a build night at a, IPMS club or whatnot. The things got feisty at the, I'm a member of IPMS Ottawa. And the truth is, I'm considering not going back. The meetings are hard to hear. Most of the weeks they don't have a, they're using whatever space they use, and they don't have a PA system or whatnot. And then people who are there also, even during the presentations, are talking amongst themselves. So it can get a little lost. But there's a very heated discussion about 3D models, and I guess from what they've said, IPMS Ottawa is one of the few that allows 3D printing. And I think I lost an SMD. Give me a minute. Let's see if I can track it down. Jesus, where'd it go? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. I had a fourth. That doesn't appear to be here. So it could be on the floor, which is less than ideal. Or we might, excuse me, we might just accept that one's gone. Anyway, back to IPMS Ottawa. Oh, hey, Trek Mods. Well, no need to apologize. I mean, I don't really advertise this. I've only started doing it. But good to see you here. Also, a Ontario native. Well, maybe not native, but, some Ontario brethren. Thanks for popping in. And I apologize if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you'd commented that you saw my Enterprise delivery at the Big Nickel up in Sudbury, which is about 6 hours from where I'm from. So you can be there and back in a day very easily. Although I didn't realize when I booked the handoff time with my client, I didn't realize that the mine tour had really crappy hours. So we got there at noon. And I'm like, no, I'm not waiting around for 7 o'clock to. As much as I want to, I'm not waiting around for 7 hours to go look at the mine. So I'm doing another one for him, so I will plan it better then. Excuse me. Anyway, back to IPMS Ottawa. So they were discussing the rules for 3D modeling. And once again, it was a little hard to hear, so I'll be as reliable a narrator as possible. Didn't miss much. They had rules for, okay, so a 3D print, not a scratch build category, but they're allowing 3D printed builds in with the styrene builds or whatever plastic. And for scratch build, the rule is you have to design it. You can't just get it off Shapeways. Oh, I guess not Shapeways, but wherever you can get 3D prints or 3D files. And a couple people took issue with it, and it was very much like, one of the things I do remember hearing was like, oh, why should I be judged with the, whoops, I had to move that camera a little bit. It's try to put in a position where I can still work, but give you the best view possible of what I'm seeing. Although I'm starting to wonder if I should do this and go closer. Because I can move things a little bit as necessary. And it might be a better viewing angle because I can do this. Alright, let's try that. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. So, they were arguing about that. And my personal opinion, there was very much a subtext of... And one guy said, why should mine be judged with such and such? I'm like, I don't build models to win contests, so I don't have that frame of mind. But it was a thing that was missing from the conversation. Anyway, it got heated. They were, club president was, so pardon me, the member was swearing first. He was like, hey, fuck you, buddy. And then the president was like, well, fuck you. And, was very passionate. Felt like it was going to come to blows. It didn't. And everyone ended up hugging it out. But made things livelier than the last couple. And I will say this, if it hadn't been for going to the IPMS meeting in October, I wouldn't have the vinyl printer or vinyl cutter, because someone had done a presentation on using it, and finally seeing it in use really hammered it home. Excuse me. About using it. So yeah. But I am working with the Hobby Center, and we're trying to set up a sci-fi night, because he does I think two car build groups a month, and the Ottawa Gunpla, and so we're looking at something different. So we're looking at setting that up. I think March 11th is what we're shooting for. So I still gotta create a group and all that stuff. And let's bring this white balance down a little bit. Give me a second here. There we are. Try to keep these two cameras matched. Anyway, it was interesting. Interesting evening. Okay, so we're gonna do here, 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 and just a little bit lower than the original mark. Excuse me. All right, get the Dremel out again. Okay. So one of the problems, I use the phone for the POV camera. On regular camera, it tends to, like, it's got a good focus shift, but it tends to, as you can see, it's focusing on the Dremel, not the hole that I want to drill, versus the ultra wide, which gives you way more viewing area, but there is a lot of wasted space that way. Okay. But this is a bit of a trade-off because this gives you a better viewing than just the straight down. And once I put these ones in, and I come back to here and do the little spacer, the 3mm LED that I did when I started that some people may have missed. Unless you're all gone, in which case it doesn't really matter. But this will live on my excuse me, YouTube channel. I create a playlist for live stream replays, and as I do them, they'll be moved into their own playlist, like the Falcon playlist, and the new live stream replay will take over. And what I'm going to do, I'm kind of thinking about, content creation and how best to create the most content while keeping things sustainable. Because it's easy to kill yourself trying to make more and more content to feed the algorithm. And I was actually a little worried with the Galileo video because it did not perform well out the gate, and I thought I may have waited too long. Sorry, this one's being a bit of an arsehole. And it took a couple days before the algorithm finally started finding people to feed it to. But I haven't been doing a lot of reels lately, reels and shorts and whatnot, so I think what I'm going to do is there's going to be work to be done on this between build days. And I'll probably make shorts about that and any other supplemental stuff I'm working on, but honestly, for the next couple months, my primary focus is going to be the refit, so I can take it down to Wonderfest and get it sent off to my very, very patient client in Florida. I was going to take it down directly, but I have a friend I'm meeting who will take it the rest of the way, and then we'll be able to do hand delivery, not by me, but still hand delivery, and not risk any damage in the whether it be Canada Post, United States Postal, whatever, because that's my biggest fear is, and I know it happened to Boyd. He had built a refit for someone who wasn't like they were deployed when it was delivered, and whoever received it didn't know to do a thorough check, and turns out someone put a forklift fork through it. But of course, you didn't find out for 6 months, and by then they're like, "Nope, not our fault." So that would have been majorly disappointing, and that's not a situation I want to find myself in. For anyone wondering, these are 0402 pre-wired, pre-resistored SMDs that I'm installing for the landing lights, warning lights, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to fill them with resin from the other side and then mask them. And these I don't have to do anything with, but there will be the additional red ones. Those I'll need to add, clear, a clear to before adding the resin, just to make sure that everything gets done properly, or gets lit properly. Okay. Yeah, see, this is going to be a mess of wires in here. And I should be testing all these just to make sure they work and they're the right color, because I may have done all this work for nothing. But it's not the end of the world. Okay. Come here, you. Dun-dun. And 1, 2, 3. Hey, there's my missing one. Guess it was hiding. 4, okay. One thing I wish is that these were a little bit more exposed at the end than what they are. Okay, and let's do another lighting test. As you can see, this has already come apart. This is really, really fucking irritating. Okay. And negative. Although we don't want to be negative. We want to be positive. Okay, so we have 3 functional. Looks like this guy might be dead. So test that individually, but once again, 3 lights. Do a little flip here. Just to be able to see it. So, give myself a note. Oof, little stretch. Where are we at? Oops. So, at the beginning of the stream, what I had done here is I had made a 1mm high spacer for the 3mm LED, so the LED doesn't stick all the way all the way down to here, that you can kind of see it poking away up there. Because I want to keep the light a little bit constrained, not not full pattern. Bring it down a little bit. So we're gonna do the same here. And sorry, I apologize. It was 1.5mm. I did, not 1mm, because also the thickness of the plastic too. So the idea is that just a little bit is sticking out. And here we go. And yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay. Marked. There we go. Okay. I'll take one of these. Go ahead and put that through. Then through there. And I apologize for not having the... This is the benefit of this one here being the ultra wide, because it just gives me more room to work with. I don't have to remember to shift the model. And we're not worried about this guy. Not worried about the LED, because the resin will not bond to that. And just clean that up a little bit. And I know I'm holding this awkwardly, it's just a little easier for me to get it from this side. And this is just styrene tube that you can get from, well, let's say get from your local hobby shop, but hopefully get from your local hobby shop. Some hobby shops kind of suck and don't have anything. Luckily, we're spoiled in Ottawa, and we have several of them. Okay. Same thing. Let's get that guy some. There we are. LED out. We'll let that one sit. No, so the whole point is just to, pardon me, get that where you can see it. Have just a little bit of the tip in the landing gear bay, so we can keep that light a little bit focused. There we are. And we'll let those guys sit and do their thing. Okay. Move that up. 1, 2. Okay. Let's put you over here. need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. You're out of here. We got that. And we need 2 resistors, helping hands, solder. Wait a second, just to stretch my back. So, as with the first one, I'm going to pre-tin the LEDs and the resistors. Okay. And I know I'm repeating myself for anyone who's been here the whole time, but this is designed to make soldering components easier together because you already have a layer of solder on said component. Come on, you. It's kind of about time to change this tip, I'll tell you. Because that is absolutely not what I wanted to have happen. There we go. Hey, nothing little patience can't handle. Okay, and then these are 470 ohm resistors. And they'll function for both 9 and 12 volt power sources, depending on what I decide to go with. Oops. Don't know why I'm doing the whole thing, because I usually trim these short. Oh well. Okay. Hey, and once again, for those not in the know, the longer lead is your positive lead. And that's what you're going to solder your resistor to. Put a solder on the tip. Well, that helping hand isn't helping very much. Come on. Alright. Another one, then we'll cut some wire, add that to it, and then install these. And test them. See if we like the look. Because the goal is for a kind of a spotlight appearance. Not... I don't want to flood the whole area with light because I want shadows on the landing gear. Okay, 1 and 2. that out of there. That out of there. And all right, and these are way longer than I need, but whoops. More is better than less. All right, let's get these soldered on, installed, tested, and I think we'll call that a stream. Still get the tech figured out. I don't know why this is so quiet, because my mixer is maxed out. So that's very irritating, because sound is the thing I'm having the most trouble with, kind of across the board. Even though I'm, using professional equipment, semi-professional equipment, pardon me, and have a couple sound engineer friends who are like, yeah, it's set up right. Like, okay, are you sure? Because I also look at I can put my headphones on, but it's still not a reliable sense of what y'all are hearing, because I have control over my monitor volume. Set that aside. Take a black and white, or black and red, excuse me. Same as before. Get a little bit of solder on there. And the next one. Then we can drop these in. Okay. And what do I need? I need these two. Oh, the kicker there to get that locked down faster. Okay. And then just got to strip the ends so we can do a lighting test. And yeah, that'll about do an hour and a half, which I think is lots of time for y'all to be bored by my not filling all the dead air with chatting. Okay, there's that, and this. Okay. Twisted. Okay, let's try this out. See what we get. If they don't work, that'll be embarrassing. There we are. Okay, so we got two lights right there, and that's what we want. Not completely cast, so we got shadows being cast down and around. So that's definitely what we want. Okay, I would call this a successful build afternoon. Anyone has any questions before I wrap up? If anyone's still here. Honestly, I can't see the stats because I'm not really showing me through here. Does this actually tell me? Yeah, I got quick actions, but it doesn't really tell me my data. So what does this say? Yeah, no one's chatting much on Twitch. And there we are. And yeah, looks like a few people have been in and out on YouTube today, so that's good. This'll get better as I figure things out. Like I said, I missed the first 10 minutes on YouTube because I forgot to. I scheduled it. I assumed that it would go live once I connected, but it did not. So bit of a goof there. But this is actually a pretty big leap because I can get, I got essentially half the underside lighting sorted out. So I'm going to finish that between now and next week, and I'll do a short on it, or a short or two. And next week we'll come back and look at what the next steps are going to be. So, thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and check out my other videos and do all the things that people ask you to do. I do appreciate it, and take care, y'all.